What up, everybody, and welcome to the show of hurt feelings, disagreements, debate, and controversy. It is the House of Havoc Top 10. Today we have the artist formerly known as Anthony Alessino, the smooth criminal Brian Castiglione, and the mullet-wearing, cold take sharing Jack Hockenjos. And last but certainly not least is your boy, the Dean Malenko of podcasting, the man of 1,000 nicknames, Jimmy Hockenjos. Ladies and gentlemen, theys and gays, there are over 2 million podcasts worldwide. And today you're rocking with us, and we do appreciate that. We have a special guest. You may know him from the Death of Kayfabe podcast and one rewind appearance. Or did you do it twice?
One rewind appearance.
One rewind appearance. Big Whitey, Christopher Johanson, in the house. Today, we are doing the top 10 Star Wars aircraft. And the parameters on this where the Death Star doesn't count and any ship qualifies that can be piloted in a dogfight in space. We're all pretty much lifelong Star Wars guys in the room. Correct. I mean, obviously, we got the OG.
Well, your boy's been in the game probably since he was about 4. Love Star Wars. I'm an original trilogy guy. I'm a sequel guy. I'm a prequel guy. I'm a Star Wars guy.
And that's what we want to hear.
Yeah. I mean, your boy's a Star Wars guy. I've told you this before. You have a first Star Wars memory?
We lived in this house. It was like a ranch house, and it was before my brother was born, because we had a room that my dad made into a den. And that day we went to not King Cullen's. I'm sorry, it was whatever grocery store it was, the local grocery store, and we got cold cuts. We went back to the house. He's like, "I'm gonna put a movie on." He put Star Wars on. We watched it. I fell in love instantaneously. Then the funny thing is, I saw Empire Strikes Back, didn't know that Return of the Jedi existed,
Right.
and then I went to, I think it was either preschool or kindergarten, and there was a Return of the Jedi book, and my little kid head, I mean, obviously these are not the words I used, but I was like, what the fuck, there's another movie? And
you just thought it ended?
Yeah.
Because Vader on
I held
top?
that for so long.
obviously I'm a video store kid. You know, we grew up in the video store. And my dad would go to the video store, he'd get tapes, and he would record them, illegally record them so that we had copies of all the movies. It's like what everybody did. He had 2 VCRs. He would like sit there, we'd have like a synchronized like play and record. I hit one, he hit one, and then we would watch the movie we rented and record it.
Yeah, the old school move.
Right. So on the tape that I had, it was just Empire Strikes Back and just Star Wars. And when we rented Return of the Jedi, he like fast forwarded to the end, and then we did the play and record. So I had all 3 movies on one tape.
Oh.
And I played literally. I may still have that tape to this day, and I played it out. And the year I played it out, my mom bought me the box set. Like the first. I think it was the first box set that they put out of all the Star Wars movies.
I remember the Solo tape. See, I don't have a first Star Wars memory because Star Wars was in my life before I have a memory. Like my earliest memory, Star Wars is there already.
See, when Star Wars was cool for me, it was not cool for anybody. You know what I mean? It was like, it was over.
Mm-hmm.
But like, because I came up, I was born in '83, so I was born the year that Jedi came out, so I just missed, I missed all of it. And then I was on the tail end, and that's like, it was not cool to like Star Wars at that point. It was cool to like Ninja Turtles.
I would argue it probably wasn't cool to like Star Wars growing up, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I have a similar story to Whitey also. I mean, I watched it with my dad growing up. No specific like actual memory of it, but that's my memory of Star Wars is watching it. Like, I think at that point it was replaying on like whatever Spike TV or TNT was at that time.
97 re-releases surged and kind of surged in pop culture after they re-released it, right?
Well, Star Wars' history, like post original trilogy, pre special edition release, is interesting because there was an underswell of people who, like myself, who was just clamoring for something Star Wars. And then they had the Timothy Zahn books come out. They were Heir to the Empire, which created Grand Admiral Thrawn, popular character from Rebels. And it was like this trilogy of books, and then that's kind of when Star Wars started getting geared back up. And in '97, for the 20th anniversary, that's when Lucas re-released the trilogy in theaters with the extra scenes, and then in '99 is when the first prequel came out. So that whole time period in between, there was nothing else. You know what I mean? We had nothing, just waiting for that trilogy. It was just great.
And honestly, that's kind of when I was watching, because I remember knowing Star Wars before Phantom Menace
Same
came
thing.
out. Like
Same thing here,
being excited to be like, yo, this is like,
Yeah,
this is new stuff. Like,
I have distinct memories of Star Wars pre-sequels.
right. Yeah.
Even though we were pretty young. 99, your boy was
I
like
was 7.
6.
Yeah.
Wait, the prequels? You saying like that's when?
I have memories before the prequels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Star Wars memories before the prequels
So
came out.
did you guys go see them when they re-released them?
I didn't see them. No, the first Star Wars movie I saw in a movie theater would have been Phantom Menace.
Yeah, same here.
Emily, that's the first time she saw Star Wars. Her mom took her to see A New Hope in
So-
the '97 re-release, and she would have been
that's
3
sick.
years old.
Wow.
So, I mean, I appreciate it now, and I remember at the time really liking it, but then there was a time period when I didn't. The Phantom Menace, like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's new Star Wars, it's awesome.
Right.
And then I started, like, having, like, a disdain for it. Every time it didn't have that rewatchability.
We did. I'm gonna tell a story for you. Correct me if I'm wrong. You went buck wild and bought like tickets to 5 or 6 different showings.
I think, no, three showings. So, there was, my mom and I went on opening day. She took me out of school early so we can go see it. Then I went on that weekend, because what I remember about that was the Spider-Man trailer came out with Star Wars. No, maybe it couldn't have been the Spider-Man trailer. Maybe it was the X-Men trailer, and the X-Men trailer was sick. And it was
That makes more sense.
so it might have been it was because I think Spider-Man was Attack of the Clones was when the Spider-Man trailer came out, and even then I thought that looked sick because X-Men was so good. X-Men was so it must have been X-Men. Was because I saw it that Saturday with my dad and my brother, and then the third time I went with like my cousins. So like 3 bang bang bang.
And at what point were you not excited to go watch it again?
Well, like, you know, like the Maul lightsaber fight, I was always like, because like that, since that was at the end, and like I was always very excited to see that scene in particular.
Yeah, that scene was awesome.
Cleaned it up for you?
It was like, you know, I liked and I loved the pod race scene. I thought was like really well done. Like the use of music and non-music and like the like you knew Anakin was gonna win, but it was like just the tension of it. Should we do like a spoilers? I mean nobody's gonna listen to this. It's not.
For the Star Wars movies?
Yeah.
Nah, spoilers ahead for anything Star
Yeah,
Wars.
really.
It's
been out long. It's been out long enough.
To.
Yeah.
I mean,
if we were talking about Kenobi, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, maybe you never know.
anything Star Wars related, spoilers like
Spoilers. Because like somebody could be
the
just
jabroni.
somebody could have just started watching, like, you know, like I don't like to ruin anything for anybody. Like it was a
Right.
big deal for my daughter to watch Star Wars with me, especially, and it wasn't Star Wars, it was Empire Strikes Back, because I wanted to see her reaction when I am your father. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Big
like
deal.
we're watching it, she's like really into it, you know, and so I'm like, thank God, like because like, you know, you show her stuff sometimes that you like, and you're like, and she's like, Daddy, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's
you're
a
like
big deal.
crushed. So Empire was like, she's like, I don't care if she likes nothing else, but she's gotta like Empire. So we get to I'm your father, and she looks over at me, and he's like, I am your father, and she looks at me, she's like, that's not for real, right, Daddy? I'm like, no, no, it's real.
No, it's for real.
This is real.
This is Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
This is it.
And she kind of had this look on her face, like, holy shit, and I was like, yes, like,
Gotcha. The best gotcha in cinematic
Yeah.
history.
yeah.
It was on 2 weeks ago, and we were 5 minutes out from that part happening. And I'm like, all right, everyone, we got to turn it up as loud as we can. We all have to hear it. It's frozen in time.
Yeah.
And still just as good.
That's impossible.
Yeah. Great.
Tremendous.
It's like it's what hit, like, because the thing about the prequels that I think is missing from the original trilogy is that those kind of scenes, like, you know, there's the Revenge of the Sith has a lot of those, but like I feel like Phantom Menace has a couple, but Attack of the Clones has none of that. You know what I mean? And I
Of
think
what?
there's no emotion in Attack of the Clones.
Oh yeah, no, it's poor.
Yeah.
It's poor.
But like the reason, like Force Awakens, for instance, like that, like the scene with Kylo Ren and Han Solo, it's phenomenal,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it makes that whole movie, and that's why I fight.
It's
for
also
them.
2 mega stud actors.
Right.
Yeah.
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 When I mean, not that.
Well, the fact that they called him Ben, like that alone, you know what I mean? That justifies.
What's her face isn't she's a stud too, Padme. Nat Portman. She's a stud, but Hayden Christensen, I don't know if I'd call him a stud of an actor. And they were both young, and they weren't given good writing to
No.
work with. My problems with the prequels rather, are not really so much the way the story went. There's just a lot of poor writing decisions.
Yes.
In it.
Yeah, I think they were, because like they created all that new like computer engineering on a lot of that. You know, like the blue screen with all the background effects and everything looking so good. And I think there was way more of like, look at what I can do, more than look at the story that I can tell. And I think with the original trilogy, it was look at the story I can tell. Where the prequels was look at these shiny bells. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fair.
But Revenge of the Sith, that's one of the top Star Wars movies in my opinion.
Revenge of the Sith is good. I like the prequels. I don't really.
I'm not hate them.
Especially once the sequels came out, I was like, well, the prequels are great now.
The God's honest truth for me, it was a letdown. They were like, I wanted more.
The prequel?
Yeah, like I wanted what the Clone Wars gave us for the prequels. You know
We've discussed this, and I'll be quick, and then we'll get into.
Yeah, I'm like throwing it on Star Wars, man. We could talk about Star Wars.
It can happen
for days.
We could just do a Star Wars podcast once a month forever.
Seriously.
We've discussed this. The way that I would have structured it is you take like everything that happened in the Phantom Menace and make it the first 40 minutes of the first movie. And then the rest of it is like the first bit of Attack of the Clones. And then the second movie is like heavily Clone Wars focused.
Well,
and then the third movie is the downfall story. Because a lot of people's problems is that the turn happened like that and it didn't seem to make sense. But then once you go back and watch the Clone Wars, all of that void is answered, right? Because you see like you see the signs of it coming, but a lot of people weren't satisfied with the ultimate way the turn went down.
So here's what I wonder. Was the plan always to do Clone Wars? Because Lucas is heavily attached to the first.
I would argue no, because the first Clone Wars season, remember the Cartoon Network one when it was like 12-minute episodes?
Yeah, but that was a completely different series. Like that's considered Legends. That's not.
Yeah,
canon.
but that was first.
No, that was first.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I wonder because that was Samurai. The guy who did Samurai Jack did that.
Yeah.
And that was really well done, and that made the movie better. Like how they took Palpatine, how Grievous took Palpatine, and that whole that made that better.
Yeah,
but then
how Windu crushed his lungs, and it made sense while he's hacking and wheezing in the movie.
But that that the Clone Wars series was originally a movie.
Yeah, I think I did know.
It was an animated movie.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Yeah, and
it's the one that starts it all.
And it's not really they do coexist, but they don't really coexist. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It's straight. It's hard to describe it. So.
Dishonorable time. Are you opting out of the dishonorable?
I don't
mentions?
have any dishonorable.
I
usually
fucking
don't.
Loser, dude. I know you don't.
No dishonorable mentions.
He doesn't have the hate in his heart.
I really don't have
Unless it's
dishonorables
candy.
for anything. Yeah, it was really only candy.
You want me to go or you want to?
I'll go first. The N1 Naboo Starfighter. Absolute piece of fucking garbage,
Not
dude.
a fan.
Waste of space.
All right.
So I said that Rogue Squadron was going to come up. Rogue Squadron released 6 months before the Phantom Menace released, and they put the Starfighter in the game so that way, once the movie came out, it would make sense. And that was the peak of the N1 Naboo Starfighter, was its appearance in Rogue Squadron. After that, all downhill.
What's funny is I have a list of a bunch of dishonorable mentions, and that was on there, so I don't have to go into it. But I just want to.
You could say your piece on it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. It's. I mean, you basically you had it in a nutshell.
Lame, dude. It's just lame.
Watch Book of Boba Fett.
Is there a Starfighter in there?
Just watch Book of Boba Fett. So, my dishonorable mention is a grouping of ships, and I might catch a lot of flack for this, but the Rebel fleet, aside from the few that I have on my list, the Rebel fleet is garbage.
Okay, so my next two and only dishonorable mentions are the A-Wing and the B-Wing.
Well, here's the thing. We're gonna get to the B-Wing, but here's the thing: the A-Wing, the B-Wing, the Y-Wing, and the Snow Speeder. Oh, maybe I do have the B-Wing on. That's funny. I have the B-Wing. No, that's a whole nother story. So anyway, we'll just say this: the A-Wing, the B-Wing, the Y-Wing, and the Snow Speeder. Every one of those ships gets their fucking ass kicked.
Yeah.
Like every single one. Like Luke's a great pilot. Luke's probably the second best pilot in the fleet. Would we all agree that Wedge is the best pilot?
Yeah.
Wedge took down an AT-AT. Like, who's the only one that took down an AT-AT?
But you got to give what's-his-face credit for that, too.
Dak.
Yeah, Dak landed the shot and then went down. You know.
No, wait, Dak was with Luke. Who's
No, yeah.
So anyway,
The gunner who ends the shot. We know.
Just-
Wedge didn't shoot the harpoon.
but like, what the Y-wing in the Death Star trench run got its ass kicked.
They're bombers.
Yeah, but
They're
they
bombers though. They're
I
taking down the shield.
I understand, but they just garbage. It's a terrible design. It's like too much space for them to hit, like in a dogfight. Like that big long thing that they got on the back of it.
No, I know, but they're bombers though.
I understand. It's just
They're not fighters. You know.
you have it on your list.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
So
Listen,
I think
this
the
is
A-wing is useless.
already we're like.
I think the
Honestly.
A-wing is
I
useless.
gotta be honest, some of them are on my list.
Yeah, I
that's
think
okay.
I think the A-wing is useless. I know it's super fast and it's like a scout ship, whatever. It's also mostly on the dishonorable mention list because I think it's just ugly and plain and boring.
It is.
And then the
It's
B-wing,
kind of just a square.
the B-wing is also on the dishonorable mention list for the exact opposite. It's like too much going on with the rolling cockpit and the fucking way it opens up,
Alright.
and it's slow as shit.
So I couldn't get an X-wing as a kid. So the only ship I was able to get was a B-wing, and because of that, I have such a soft spot for it because like I wanted Luke to fly an X-wing. I don't have an X-wing. I got a B-wing. Luke's flying a B-wing. So
Did
that's
you pretend it was an X-wing?
no, it was a B-wing.
Right.
But like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's fine. Those are my three, I guess. So finish up whatever else you got because Brian doesn't.
Well, I have the Naboo fighter, and then I also put the Rebel blockade runner. It's a cool looking ship, but like in a fight with a
I
Death
don't
Star.
know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that
Is
is.
that
The first ship that you ever see in Star Wars is the Rebel blockade runner. When it first comes
the one that
overhead,
looks like a pill? Oh no, I know the one you're talking about. It looks like Tom's
it's in.
almost.
So it's in Rogue One.
Yes, I know. Yeah,
You know which one I'm talking
it's
about.
the one that they're
It's-
on at the start of A New Hope.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. The Rebel blockade runner because it gets its ass kicked. I had the Naboo fighter, and then I had like the Rebel fleet.
All right.
Except for I have, Alright. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Honorable mentions. None of those either.
No.
All right.
No honorable mentions.
No, you guys are much more
Oh,
hands
alright.
on with this than I
So
am, for sure.
my honorable mentions. I'll fly through my three, and then you can do your three.
got you.
Just as a grouping, the Star Destroyers, Super Star Destroyers.
Mm.
They're badass, but like the real life equivalent, I feel like to these is like an aircraft carrier, right?
So which one what were you saying?
The
Here?
Star Destroyers, Super Star Destroyer, Star Destroyer.
Okay.
The
Any
whole
of them,
family
right?
The
of
whole
Star
family of Star
Destroyers.
Destroyers? Okay.
They're badass. They're iconic to Star Wars, especially if you play any of the video games. The lore, like anything in Star Wars, you get into the lore behind it
Mhm.
instead of just seeing it on the screen of the movie. And some things are super cool, but the real life equivalent's probably like an aircraft carrier for the Navy, right?
Yeah.
It's like more of a battle station.
Mm,
Like it's involved in dogfights because the smaller ships are trying to take it down.
Right.
I'll be honest.
You don't have to spoil your list. You
Okay.
you can let it. It's fine. I think they're badass. They didn't make my list. They got an honorable mention. After that, I think this is definitely the only sequel. The only sequel aircraft. I got Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter.
Mine too.
Yeah, Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter is badass looking. I mean,
It is. Yeah.
especially if we're talking about the sequels, all you need to do is be attached to a badass character or be badass looking, and it's gonna stand out,
Mhm.
especially in movies that are that bad. But Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter is sick, and then the V-wing.
Oh, the V-wing is pretty cool.
The V-wing's alright.
I forgot about the V-wing.
It's from their prequels. It looks like a
Look it up real quick.
like a clamshell almost.
Like a triangle
Yeah.
with like guns on the side. That's a
Oh
good call.
shit! Yeah. I didn't know this was cool. I know exactly what this is.
That's a cool one. It's fast, and it's got some good artillery on it.
Yeah. So anything on the
That was Battlefront 2, yes? V-wing you
I
can play.
think so.
probably. and
Now
it
that I'm
was
looking at it,
also-
there's a reason it looks so familiar.
It was also in.
It was in some game. It was in one of the. Was it
in
in
the movies,
Clone
too,
Wars? Was it in the Clone Wars GameCube game?
Could have been.
I think it was in the Clone Wars GameCube game. I know it was playable in one of them.
Battlefront 2.
All of the like light fighter style ships from the Galactic Republic, the Clone Wars from the Galactic
Mhm.
Republic, they don't have pressurized cabins. That's why the clones are always wearing life support systems because they take all that extra power and throw it to speed and artillery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't put the gunship on your list.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't say that. You didn't
No,
say,
no, no,
oh,
no.
okay.
I was just saying all of the like light fighters for the Republic, meaning the V-wing and then the other ones. No, the gunship also, I guess, doesn't have the pressurized cabin, but I didn't say it wasn't on my list. Those are my honorable
No,
mentions.
it does have because it closes when like Yoda and Mace Windu are like in space in a couple of episodes.
Oh yeah, no, that I meant where the pilots are.
All right, so honorable mentions. I have 2 for the same reason, and that's Darth Maul's ship, just like a sick-looking Sith fighter, but never really did anything. And I love the Razor Crest. It's like a character on The Mandalorian, but for them to just blow it up in season 2 was like, I can't make the list now because
I was wondering if you're gonna have the Razor Crest on there.
I almost
that toy you got is sick.
I almost made it because I love it. It's a great ship. It was like perfect for the show. I hope he gets another one. And then the other one that I really like it's not really canon, but you said old Star Wars.
Yeah.
So Shadows of the Empire, the Outrider.
Yeah.
It's like a Carillion looking ship, so it looks like the Falcon, but it was like advanced.
Yes,
it was like advanced.
The
so like the ship would kind of go like a B-wing style, but had the gunner stations in the middle, plus like the big gun on the bottom, and then like the canopy on the cockpit on the top. But it wasn't like the toy was like a fighter. And in the video game, I think it was a fighter. But in the comic book, in the book, it was like a Carillion ship, like the Falcon. So that's the version.
Like a cargo ship.
Yeah, but like a
beefed up cargo ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it.
Let me backtrack real quick. Dishonorable mention: the fucking Dooku and Asajj Ventress sail ship. Throw that one on the dishonorable mention for being stupid.
I wrote that down, Dooku ship, but I'm like, that's too much of a piece of shit to even try to.
It's dishonorable. All right, I mean, Brian, let's go. Let's hear.
No, we're good.
Let's hear your
It's a
number
little
10.
warm, so I was just I don't know. All right, number 10. All right, so I'm prefacing this list just by saying a lot of this is 4, 5, and 6 and prequel, and a lot of it's based off things of what I kind of remembered nostalgically from watching it. So if you guys feel free to support me on any of this. So number 10, which I like that it was on someone's dishonorable, because I feel like this is always how this goes. I actually had the B-wing at number 10, strictly for the fact that it does have a lot going on, and honestly, I thought it looked sick when I was little. I kind of, to be honest, I did kind of have to look into things besides like the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters and things like that, just to kind of like jog my memory. This was one of the first things when I saw where initially I was like, oh, I remember this. But so yeah, I mean, just from a novelty standpoint, but
the fucking in the cockpit of the B-wing, because of the way it opens the way it does.
Yeah.
The pilot of the B-wing is standing in like a standing seat sort of a deal, and it's like a rotating seat deal. So when the ship flips, his seat flips, and he's like sitting there standing, operating like in a standing.
It's like isn't it a gravity like the cockpit's gravity based?
I mean, it could be.
That would make sense. Yeah, it sounds like it at least.
I think as the ship swings, he stays level so he can see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He
so
rolls,
it's moving around him.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
not moving.
Yeah, he
gotcha,
rolls with
okay.
the ship.
The toy was like that also. As you rolled the ship around, the cockpit
He's
would
staying in one
still.
spot.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, just based off of.
And was it heavier guns on the B-wing? I mean, it's on your list too.
Yes.
So if you have stuff, we can get to it. When we
Yeah,
get
I was
there.
gonna say. If any of you guys have it, definitely.
If you have shit you want to say and someone else says something before you, you can just hold it.
Okay.
You don't have to. Oh, the man's here!
Oh, there he
Holy
is!
shit!
You want to jump right in? We're on number 10.
Yeah.
I'm not even prepared, boys. I'm sorry.
All right, that's fine.
I'm sunburnt.
You
I'm
guys are
worked
drinking the
out.
same monster.
Yeah, shout out.
It's weird because I bought you one of those for the show.
Dude, I wish I could have been.
All right. Well, if you're not gonna sit down, get out. We're in the middle of recording.
And I missed my favorite one.
Oh,
We'll
there's
do more
plenty of
Star Wars. We'll do more Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars. If
Nice.
I had a list, you could have just sat down. Don't get all miss my favorite one.
Nice
We're
little,
going about this for days.
nice little Jack Ryan, got
Yeah.
pop and everything.
We're talking about 10, the B-wing.
B-wing.
B-Wing. We can go on to your 10. That's all I got for you.
Wait, can I just say one quick thing about the B-wing? I didn't realize it, but I put it on both my honorable and dishonorable, but for different reasons.
Okay.
Because it's like
B-wing?
it's a terrible design, that ship.
Yeah.
But it's cool as fuck.
I almost feel like
I'm
with
saying
the-
from a practical.
I
Yeah,
almost
no,
feel
that's
like-
how I
I
feel about
almost
it.
feel
It's
like-
not practical at all, but
No.
it looks
B-wing,
cool as fuck.
I almost feel like with the B-wing, Lucas was like, the X-wing.
We're
did
gonna
so
sell
well.
a toy. We're gonna sell a toy.
The X-wing.
Yeah,
did so
it
well.
looks like a joystick.
It's
kinda.
like as a toys collector and seller, like one of the most
'Cause
highly
correct me if
desirable
I'm wrong,
toys of
but
all
the B-wing.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm
Really?
Yeah,
wrong,
people love
but
it.
A-Wing, B-Wing, both Jedi. Debuting Jedi. I would bet the farm on that.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
A-Wing and B-Wing, so they
So
don't
you
come out.
only had from Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, like
X-Wing, Y-Wing, Snowspeeder, TIE
that's
Fighter.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. And a TIE Bomber and Darth Vader's TIE Advanced.
Yeah.
I'm a big TIE guy. You'll find out.
Oh.
Yeah, the
So
TIE
my
Fighters
number
are the
10
sickest.
My number 10 is the twin ion engine fighter, the TIE Fighter,
Oh,
the original TIE Fighter.
is shit.
Do we know how it originally got its name? I assume you know.
I don't know.
I just said twin ion engine, but it's not. Do you know how they?
I had no.
Because they're shaped like a bow tie.
Yeah.
That symbol? Really?
Yeah, that's how they got the name TIE Fighter, because they look like a bow tie flying through the sky.
It's funny. All the planes are named after what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
B-Wing, I can see because it's like look.
And then they
Right.
they retrofitted to twin ion engine.
Yeah.
TIE Fighters are sick, but they are nerfed as hell. The reason they're nerfed as hell is because they are real life equivalent. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the Mitsubishi Zero from World War II. They took all of the power out of shields and put everything that they had into making it quick.
They're essentially suicide fighters.
Yeah, that's the Zeros. The
Like,
Mitsubishi
we're gonna
Zeros
send-
that attack Pearl Harbor.
We're gonna send 10 Star Destroyers, and then we're gonna send out 500 TIE Fighters to just destroy
They
you.
were cheap to produce and cheap to blow up.
Mm.
Yes.
I'm
So,
good.
Number
I'm
10.
good on TIE Fighters.
So number 10,
Well,
I
I'm
got.
not good on ties, you'll see.
So number 10, I have an interesting one. I chose the Ghost from Rebels.
Never seen it. I gotta get a picture of the ghost.
I'll pull it up, yeah.
So here's the thing: the Ghost, I believe, is also a Corellian ship. I'm a big fan of the Corellian ships, as you can tell. It's sort of like a what is it? A hexagon? Six-sided? Is hexagon six-sided?
Yeah.
So it's like a hexagon almost. It's got a like a fighter that comes off of it. It was like a character on Rebels, which is what I like about it. It's like their home, so it's like the Rebels crew home. So you got the
Yeah, it's like the I forget the name, but like the Guardian ship.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. So that's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
So the
or
back-
the Ravager from.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah,
So it's
Legends
just a cool ship. Makes a cameo in both Rogue One and in Rise of Skywalker. So in Rise of Skywalker, if you're looking when all the ships come to save the day with Lando, if you look to the right of the Falcon, the Ghost is sitting there. And then in Rogue One, as Rogue One is leaving the base on the base on Yavin, you could see the Ghost sitting there. Chopper, the R2 unit. Well, I don't know if he's an R2 unit or he's another.
Astromech.
Yeah, but it's like a different call sign because he's like shorter. But he makes a cameo in Rogue One also. Rebels, I thoroughly enjoyed Rebels, and it's a cool ship. It's got cloaking capability, which makes it awesome in a dogfight.
I've been meaning to get to like all the cartoons. The problem with Clone Wars is I'm so far behind, and like especially earlier on, it's so many episodes in a season, and I'm like, how am I ever gonna do this? I'm
Once-
adult, like.
Once you get into it, like you'll just binge like 6
That's
at a
what
time.
everyone says. You got to get through the first 3 seasons. I'm like, well, the first
It's not
3
even-
seasons are fucking 100 episodes.
It's not even the first 3 seasons. Like you'll as a Star Wars fan, you'll get into it. It's Filoni, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Filoni and Lucas working together to create the story in between, like the story that everybody wanted. You know what I mean?
The story that should have been.
It's like very drawn out, but it's good, and it's you gotta remember it was made for kids, and as the show got older and like the audience got
It's a
older,
good point. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's a good point. All Star Wars is made for kids. All of them. The
100%.
first one was made for kids. The prequels were made for kids. It's all made for kids.
Right.
So when people take adult-like fucking opinions about it, it drives me crazy.
Right.
Especially now that Disney owns it.
Understand what it is. It's like it's a like you got. I don't know if this reference is beyond you guys, but George Lucas wanted to make Flash Gordon serials. Like Indiana Jones is a serial. You know what I mean? Like here's this week's adventure of Indiana Jones, and like the Flash Gordons back in the day. Can Flash stop Ming the Merciless? And that's what he wanted to make with Star Wars. That's why it's episode 4, 5, and 6. Not because he had like the Skywalker saga in his head. He just wanted to make like a fun movie.
Right.
And it turned into way bigger than that. You know what I mean? And people forget that. It's like they're supposed to be fun movies.
Yeah.
Like don't take it serious. It's fucking Star Wars.
Don't get your panties in a bunch about it. It's not a big deal.
I might
Remember that.
I might well up a little bit here and there, but it's because it's Star Wars.
Yeah, but I mean when people get mad about stuff.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
Like, don't Monday morning quarterback a
Not
children's
over
movie.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
Just enjoy it or don't.
Number 9. It was mentioned in the. I hope the honorable mentions. The Imperial Star Destroyer. I mean, yeah. I mean it. Not really much that has to be said. It is what it is. It's the ship. I don't. It's not the first ship you see in New Hope, right?
It's the Rebel blockade runner, then the Star Destroyer.
I was gonna say. Yeah, I knew you mentioned that one before. I think it's after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
It's the most iconic of the two.
right. As soon, I feel like it's as kind of like going off what you're saying. It is one of those things where you look at it and you immediately know this is a Star Wars ship. Like there's really no way around it. Take it out of the context of the movie itself, you still would know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the shit. Yeah,
It's good enough. My number 9 is the TIE Interceptor.
yeah. The ties are sick.
The TIE Interceptor from Return of the Jedi and Rogue Squadron, like any of the games that were dogfighting Star Wars games, which I did love growing up. Interceptor was always an option. Speed.
Yeah.
You know?
And powerful too.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think it was like 2 or 3 times the power on the ion cannons and twice as fast.
Yeah. Good?
Yeah, I'm good.
So I have number 9, the Jedi Starfighter. Now there are multiple.
Just gonna ask you to tell me which one, because it matters.
There's multiple versions of the Jedi Starfighter. There's the Delta version, which is the version that you will see in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and then there's what I just considered the regular Jedi Starfighter, which is what Obi-Wan and Anakin are piloting at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, and that's the one I chose because it's the closest to a TIE fighter, but also it's like kind of a mix between a TIE fighter and a X-wing.
Yeah, it's got the forked front.
And it's like, that's why I think it's the coolest looking of all the Jedi Starfighters. I like how the wings come out on the side. I like where the guns are positioned. I like where the R2 unit goes. It makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Jedi Starfighters.
And I like, I think I like Anakin's better than I like Obi-Wan's.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
So are we on 8?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll make my first appearance into the realm. I got TIE Fighter at 8. Just the not bomber, just regular TIE Fighter. I mean, you guys kind of went into it already. It is one of the sickest ships. And same thing with the Imperial Star Destroyer. Obviously, one of the things taken out of the context of Star Wars, like that's Star Wars shit.
Iconic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, immediately Darth Vader, TIE Fighter, everything's kind of speaks for itself, sort of thing. Did you really?
Everybody.
That's why
TIE
I'm sure I had one at one point.
Everybody had a
Yeah.
TIE Fighter. They reproduced that toy hundreds of times, not hundreds, but 10, 15 times over the course of a 15-year span. Everybody had a TIE Fighter.
With the big one.
Any of them. Any of them. There's so many produced,
Yeah, TIE Fighters are sick, for sure. My number 8, talked about it already, it's the Y-Wing, baby, the bomber.
Nice.
The suicide bombing by Y-Wing. Obviously, yeah, you said they get murked left and right because they're supposed to. Like, as long as that bomb hits and those shields go down, it doesn't matter. I always liked the shape, even though it's super impractical. I like the idea of the cockpit being all the way out in front of everything else.
You know what? Here's the thing.
And the Gold Leader is one of the most... I mean, as far as those scenes of the guys in the cockpits, Gold Leader, he got his cameo in Rogue One.
He did. Listen, I'm not saying I don't like the Y-Wing. It's just a piece of shit in a dogfight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's why it's number 8. It's not high.
I just put. I was trying to be. Listen, I was trying to be funny when I said I love all the ships. I love the A-wing. I know it's like a bland, piece of shit.
Fuck the A-Wing.
It's a cool.
I'd rather. What's the stupid thing that looks like 2 shoes they fly on Bespin? I'd rather have that in a dogfight.
You know how I feel about it. It's like I like toys, so if the toy was cool, then the ship is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so now we're up to number 8.
Yeah.
So I thought it was on my honorable mention list, but it's actually on my list. It's the only sequel vehicle that I have. It's Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer. It's a souped up, badass TIE Interceptor that just like single-handedly almost just annihilates the what are they called? They're not the Alliance, the Rebel Alliance. They are the
Resistance.
The Resistance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why couldn't I think of that? That's crazy. So anyway, that's he almost single-handedly with 2 other regular TIE fighters took out the entire Resistance fleet.
But I mean, Vader does the same thing.
No, he can't. I mean, we've never seen Vader do the same thing, but I mean, in New Hope, yes, he goes
kind of
out.
annihilates them.
Yeah,
They're like, they lose most of their ships. Don't they say?
but Vader doesn't do that. I mean, they lose. They're just outnumbered. You know, you're going up against the Death Star. You're facing cannons. You got Star Destroyers. You got TIE fighters. I mean, you're up against the wall. So Vader came out and he got every time they did a trench run, Vader's in there. But other than that, Vader's not like out. Like, I mean, maybe off camera.
He's out marking dudes in space.
I mean, you like to
Just
think so.
zipping through.
I'm just saying, on camera, you don't see it. You know what I mean?
It's the greatest combat pilot in Star Wars history.
Yes. Yeah. Kyle, I mean, again, TIE Silencer, number 8. I know it's higher than 2 other ones that could have been higher than it, but it's like, that's
fine.
That's how the cards fell.
So this is kind of going back to Whitey, but I actually have at 7. I do have the Jedi Starfighter, the
Same
Delta
one?
7, whichever one.
the
that's
triangle.
considered. Yes, the triangle.
The
one
one
that
with
is
the
intact
fork,
with the
the
clones.
one with the forked front.
Obi-Wan's.
Red.
Oh, the red one in Attack of the Clones, the
Yes.
Delta 7.
With
yeah.
the separate hyperdrive.
Yeah.
I would guess so.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they're
None of the Galactic Republic fighters had hyperdrive, though.
None of them.
None of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
this falls into another category of
Just the destroyers.
being like an iconic ship that I specifically remember seeing in Attack of Clones when I saw it when I was little. I think this is probably so bad and I should remember it, but I'm pretty sure the other one was yellow, if I remember.
Anakin's was always
correctly.
yellow.
Yeah, Anakin's was yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the yellow. We'll go with the red
Okay.
for sure.
No, that's that iconic space battle with.
But so you have the
Same
Delta
one.
7,
Yeah.
and you have the one with the forked front.
Yes.
They don't get the same points.
Nope.
Doesn't count as the same.
No,
ship.
that's why I was.
Right.
That's
I-
why.
That's
told
why I
you-
said Delta 7 because
That's
I'm
why I
like,
told
this
you
is
you
the one
need to be
I know. I
specific,
like. Yeah. I was like, this is the one I remember. So.
That's a cool ship though. I just like the other design.
That's a
better.
cool one, especially more for Obi-Wan. 2, they weren't at wartime yet. By the time we get to Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah, they're way more
we're
built
towards
for
the
it.
end of the war.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not really about being unassuming. I actually kind of want you to see that it's the general out here, instead
Yeah.
of just another
Another fighter.
pilot.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a good choice.
So right in the same ballpark here for my number 7 is the ARC 170.
You know, when I made my list, I forgot that ship, and then when I was driving here, I'm like, that's a cool fucking ship.
The ARC 170 is a cool one. That's the Galactic Republic during the Clone Wars. Takes 3 clone troopers to pilot.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Because, it's the gunner and then the 2 pilots on the inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three troopers to pilot it. Like we said before, there's no hyperdrive. They put all of
Never
the
knew the name of this.
all of the
I knew
it's when I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, there's some X-wing.
Yep, 100%. He even says lock S foils in attack position.
Yeah, and it makes more sense when he says it because they actually kind of look more like an S, know. But
That's a good choice, Whitebread.
yeah, I thought they were badass. They're like the Galactic Republic's version of the TIE Fighter. Again, it's not going to take much to shoot them down because they put all the power into speed and artillery, and they don't even have hyperdrives or pressurized cabins for that reason. But these guys, because they have the life support system on, when they get shot down, they just eject out into space.
Mm-hmm.
So they
I
have,
remember that,
they have
yeah,
a chance of surviving the battle. That's my number 7, the ARC 170. And now we're done on... No, never mind.
You got
Number
one.
7.
Number 7. It's kind of a redo pick, but I picked number 7. I just had the silencer, but now I'm picking the TIE Interceptor.
It's fine with me.
I also have the TIE Interceptor.
Yeah.
Same spot.
Wow.
So.
Well,
It's
no, you
works out
did your
perfectly.
7 already. That would have been your 6.
Oh,
right?
I'm sorry.
So
So
it's
6
fine.
is my
Yeah, it's
TIE
fine.
Interceptor, so we'll just...
The TIE Interceptor is just a badass TIE fighter. It's
Sleek
fast.
And it looks sick.
It looks awesome. It was. I'm telling you, it was. I think that was the first TIE fighter I got as a toy. Because again, you gotta remember, I'm like clearance aisle. My parents going to the clearance aisle. Oh, they have Star Wars. Let's get it for them.
Right.
Like, I would take anything. So that was my TIE fighter. But it just looks impressive. It's powerful. It's fast. Like if they had those for all 3 movies, probably Rebellion has no chance. Like too fast, too powerful.
Well, I would argue the success of the Rebellion probably birthed the TIE Interceptor.
Yes, agreed.
We got to get something a little more sturdy to hold up against these Y-wings.
Yeah.
These Y-wings and their one ion cannon.
Well, and you also got the Millennium Falcon running around, just like Dyson. You know what I mean?
Slicing and dicing.
Yeah, slice and dicing. Like Lando is like smooth as shit in the fucking Falcon, bro.
Oh yeah, I would argue almost better than Han.
Han's lucky. Like I love Han.
Han's lucky a lot, but luck in Star Wars is code word for what?
Good.
If
Better
anyone,
be lucky than good, you know?
No, I'm saying in the world of Star Wars, anyone who's lucky is actually probably force sensitive.
Yeah. Not Han, though.
Han's force sensitive. Different time and place for that argument, but Han's force sensitive.
We're going to have to agree.
Untapped force sensitive. He's not just that lucky all the time.
No, he is. Han Solo, bro.
Not by the time he's involved in the war.
All right,
Anything.
listen,
yeah,
we'll get there.
Different podcast.
We'll get there.
My number 6 is Vader's TIE Fighter Advanced. Menacing looking, a little slower, powerful, brooding, just like Vader.
It's
a good description, honestly, too.
And that ship will ruin you.
And it's like this. It's very like you see that if you see an interceptor in the distance, it might like especially if it's coming at you.
You got a shot.
But if it's coming at you, an interceptor, a bomber, and a regular TIE fighter facing you, you're not necessarily you're like, oh, it's a TIE fighter. Well, I don't know. Vader's fucking TIE Advance is coming at you.
It's over.
You make your peace with God, son. You know that's Lord Vader coming for you. And like I said, he like casually just making mincemeat out of the Rebel Alliance during the first Death Star battle over Yavin 4. No, that's Jedi.
No, Yavin 4. You're
Yavin 4.
Jedi is
Endor.
Endor.
First battle over Yavin 4. I'm telling you, they gave him medals for his kill count in that battle.
Yeah.
Or they would have if they didn't lose.
All right, so number 6?
Yes, sir.
Number 6, we got the Slave One.
Like it.
Now,
Slave One's Boba's ship.
I will say this.
Gotcha.
Boba Fett. I'm going to say it here. A lot of flack for this. Boba Fett, most overrated character in the history of Star Wars. And I know I'm going to take shit and we'll argue it. We're not going to argue it here. I'm just putting it out there. I like the heat. That's like Ric Flair heat right there.
Can I just tell you who I would say it is? And we
Go
don't have
ahead.
to argue about it. It's fucking Qui-Gon.
See, like...
Everyone just made up stuff that should have, could have, would have happened with Qui-Gon. I don't care. He's dead. Like, I don't care what he might have done.
He's kind of like annoying. Like people love Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon is the catalyst for creating Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's not, oh, if he was here, Anakin would have been...
Yoda and
No.
Mace said, nah, son, we ain't doing... Like, Mace Windu was like, psh, I ain't doing this. Yoda was like, I agree with you. And then Qui-Gon's like, I'll do it. I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Went
Always
against Yoda.
argument. What?
He went against Yoda. You can't go against Yoda.
Yeah, well, some would argue that he's smarter than Yoda.
See, yeah.
And this is where it gets dicey with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
It's where it
Anyways,
gets dicey.
Slave One. Awesome looking ship. Leveled up in The Mandalorian. Leveled up again in Book of Boba Fett. Just like cool looking ship. Powerful capabilities.
Leveled up in Attack of the Clones. Then leveled up in The Mandalorian.
I was gonna get you didn't even let me get there. Let me get there, bro. I was gonna get there because look, I have Slave One. Who do I have first? Django.
Mm.
So you had to let me get there. Where the Slave One's full capabilities were on first time on display was in Attack of the Clones, and the most beautiful sound in Star Wars, that silence and then the bong with the frickin' charges, makes that scene, 100% makes that scene, and makes that shit like when that ship is coming at him and just like firing on him, like I was like, oh, this is what I've been waiting my whole life to see, is the ship at its full potential, just like lighting it up. And then, like I said, leveled up in Mandalorian, because like that's that shot when the Imperial shuttle is taken down and it just comes up over the Imperial shuttle and you're just like intimidation. Like Boba Fett, like, and that's what made Boba Fett. I was like, all right, they redeemed him a little bit in this. He is the badass character everybody wants him to be. So, Slave One. And probably would do damage in a real dogfight.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, that's the thing. I tried to pick stuff that I would like, all right, they're going to go in there and they're going to do some damage.
Right.
Oh, I think the Slave One's a very, very good dogfighting ship.
Oh, yeah.
That's the end of the 10 to 6, so it's time to take a break. All right, guys, listen. Pat McAfee said it best. You got to look good to feel good. You got to feel good to play good. Well, we're going to help you guys look good with Saatchi di Dinero, all right? It's the finest Italian material. It's fire. It's comfortable. And we got a saving for you, all right? You're going to use promo code HAVOC for 10% off your total purchase at SaatchiDiDinero.com. Also, check him out over at Instagram at Sachi Di Dinero. Sachi Di Dinero, always authentic, never counterfeit. What is up, everybody? We are back. It's time for the top 5 Star Wars aircraft. And my number 5, coming straight out of Attack of the Clones, the Republican gunship.
Nice. Republican or the Republic?
The Republic
Like
gunship.
Mitch McConnell's flying
Yeah,
around.
the conservative gunship. Yeah, dude, it's Donald Trump in the cockpit.
During the Bush
Sit down.
administration.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, in the laser cannons on the side, it's W and HW. The Republic gunship. Pretty much from the minute it makes the save with the clones on Geonosis, I was in love with this ship.
That's a bad motherfucker.
And I had that toy, which had I known at the time that it would have been one of the holy grail of Star Wars fucking vehicle toys, probably would have sent it on multiple rescue missions down the steps.
You had pieces of it. When you gave me your toys, I was like pieces of it.
Yeah, like a wing,
Yeah.
one of the
I
rocket
think
launchers.
some missiles maybe.
Yeah. It was a sick little vehicle.
Durable.
Definitely durable.
And versatile.
Yeah. And they made them versatile because there were multiple versions of it. There was the one that flies in space, obviously. Didn't they have one? Yeah, they had one the transport that picked up and dropped the tanks and everything.
Yeah, that one was badass. It's badass.
And I feel like they had one for water too, right?
That I don't remember. I think they were like the regular ones were capable of going in space and underwater, because they definitely had one underwater in one of the episodes of Clone Wars.
They did, right?
Yeah.
Was that one with Kit Fitzhugh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoots the lightsaber underwater. Gets in a fight with the mer people or something.
Yeah, like the squid faces.
Yeah. Public gunship sick. I mean, plenty of weaponry. Definitely gonna level the playing field in an air fight for sure.
And a troop carrier too. You could carry
Yeah,
troops
troop carrier, great for doing search and rescue missions. I mean,
versatile, just
There's
super.
not a
versatile.
lot it can't do. So that's my number 5.
I'm up.
Yes, sir.
Heat-seeking missile number 5, the Imperial shuttle.
Oh my God! Really?
See,
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I love this ship. I love it. So this was like a pick with my heart, because I think, from the minute it comes out of the Star Destroyer in Return of the Jedi, it's just a badass looking ship. The Rebels hijack one to take it to Endor. It's like sleek. It's stealthy. It's not going to do great in a dogfight. It does have weaponry, but like not great weaponry.
Yeah, it's not.
But
that's break glass in case of emergency.
It's like, the reason I picked it is because it's in the class of like the dogfighters that we're trying to stick with, even though I got another heat-seeking missile like high up on my list, but we'll get there. Overall, I think it's a fun ship, leveled up in the Mandalorian again. Again, why Mandalorian is so good, it's just leveling up Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Old school war, like
Yeah.
original 4, 5, 6.
I feel like
Star Wars
that's
shit.
what Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and I think even now what they did with Kenobi kind of leveled everything up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kenobi, I think, was very.
I thought Kenobi was sick.
So that's it.
So, for number 5, I think you guys had it in your honorable mentions, if not a little bit lower on the list. I have the A-wing.
Yeah, that is a dishonorable.
Yeah, I know.
I just think it's stupid.
Mine was dishonorable too, but
Yeah, all right. So
it's still cool though.
You know what it is? I kind of see what you guys are saying more. I looked at it when you guys are kind of making the argument. Not really much as kind of like a dogfight, more of a recon, like kind of pop in. I think kind of like how I said with a lot of my list, it really is just a nostalgic thing. It's kind of what I remember seeing from Return of the Jedi. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it's mostly when they're in the forest. I could be wrong.
When the fleet arrives over Endor while they're already fighting on the ground in the forest, all you see is A-wings and B-wings,
Right.
and then everything else behind it.
The A-wing is what actually crashes into the Super Star Destroyer,
Yeah.
kills Admiral Fiat, and then the Star Destroyer takes the nosedive into the Death Star.
Yes. Correct.
So and the guy that was in there was a good pilot. It's just like, how much can he withstand when you're facing all that?
Right.
Yes.
I like
Plus
it.
the Star Destroyer you're crashing into.
Especially
so
in a
you do
little-
what you can.
in
I
a
guess.
little scout fighter like that.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
Go
don't
for
hate
speed.
it. I know it's the dishonorable mention, but I still don't hate it. I like the A-wing. Cool toy again.
My
cool
number
toy.
4 is the Jedi Interceptor, which is the starfighter
Alright.
that you picked.
Okay,
The
like
four.
that's what they call that, the interceptor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually had to look it up,
Okay.
and
fair
I
enough.
saw Jedi Interceptor.
Well, that's why I called them the Delta because I knew it was called the Delta.
Yeah, I knew that one was the Delta.
And then I
7.
didn't know what I was like Anakin's ship from Revenge of the
Yeah, I
Sith.
mean Anakin's probably more badass than Obi-Wan's. I like the yellow,
Yeah,
especially against the space background.
the dark yellow, not the lighter yellow that was in Attack of the Clones, but the dark yellow that's in Revenge
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
Sith.
yeah. The Revenge of the Sith, Anakin, Jedi Starfighter, Interceptor, fourth front, big cannons on the front, spot for the astromech, obviously always necessary for the good guys, R2 and R4. I just always liked it because, first of all, like from growing up watching Star Wars, my older brother Will was always really interested in like just regular warfare inside of Star Wars, like Commander Cody or the Han Solo or whoever, like just a guy running around, whoever's in charge of the Rebel battalion, boots on the ground in Endor, like regular warfare. I always really loved the Jedi, and then to see the Jedi, like the Jedi have their own thing, because like obviously Luke's got the X-wing, but so does everybody else.
Right.
So I like
That's like the Rebel standard ship.
yeah, it's like I said. If you see 7 X-wings flying in space, which one's Luke? I mean, probably the guy at the point, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Which one's the
Well, he's
which one's the
Red
general
5.
of the fleet right now? Oh, it's that Jedi Interceptor right there. That's
Yeah.
the one. So that's for me what always made it cool, and they were sick toys.
Yeah, they were sick toys. So we're at number 4.
Yes.
I have a Star Destroyer, the Imperial Star Destroyer, but like the regular.
The one that's actually capable of doing a little fighting.
Yeah, like the one that's gonna you're gonna have, unless you're the Millennium Falcon, unless you're like Luke in an X-wing, you're not getting past the Star Destroyer. It's a blockade ship. That's why they call it the Imperial blockade. It's gonna stop you. It's going to a Star Destroyer pops into your system. You're like, oh fuck, we're fucked.
Yeah. This is bad news, babes.
Yeah, like you haven't seen Rebels. Neither one of you guys have seen Rebels, but there's a phenomenal scene in that show with Star Destroyer. More than one phenomenal show with Star Destroyers. It evolved into the Super Star Destroyer, involved from the Republic. The Republic Cruiser, is that what they call it? Or Galactic Cruiser?
Yeah, I think Galactic Cruiser is what they call
It's
it.
just a cool. I love it. I love the Star Destroyer.
And then they wind up they couldn't resist. They had to bring them back for the sequels.
Yeah. Yeah, but I hated that they put the Death Star capabilities, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We don't. That's.
We'll get there.
So for number 4, this is easily probably could have been like a 3 or 2 for me, just based off of what it is. But the T-47 Air / Snow, whichever one you want to consider it, the speeder.
Snow Speeder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what I'm
Takes
talking
down
about.
the AT-ATs. Yeah.
I was going to say, you know what I'm talking about.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know
Episode
the
5,
ship.
opening up.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking
I
about.
wore my
guys.
Empire shirt to work today.
Did you
And when
really?
I got home, I was like, "Fuck."
It's so funny. I went into my boss's grandkid is obsessed with Star Wars. So I went in the back room today, and he draws all these pictures. And there's he's got an AT-AT radar in the back. Then there's a docking station for all the X-wings. It's all just pictures in the back room. So the back room of my job right now is kind of I guess
just a Star Wars collage.
like an armory. It's not even a collage. It's just literally all the vehicles. Kind of
That's awesome.
There's the airfield, then we got the cars on the side. They're all pictures just on the wall, but yeah. But yes, the snow
Pictures the
cruiser.
kid drew.
Drew. He draws
Yeah.
everything.
That's
so
awesome.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But yeah, wrap around the AT-ATs. That's however you want to look at them.
Iconic.
Yeah,
Iconic.
one of the best scenes in Star Wars. One of the few scenes where if I catch it on TV, I'll just watch the whole opening of it. Just like you're saying,
I catch it on
iconic.
TV, I might be finishing it from whatever point I'm at. That's my favorite.
It
movie
depends
of all
on
time.
how the rest of my day's going. Cause
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
I'm flipping
On
through
TV, it's a 3-hour. You're logged in. You
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. See, Empire. I'll watch it if it's on. If it's just on regular TV, I'm flipping channels. Obviously, I'll put it on.
Right.
But that's a movie I got to sit down and watch start to finish.
Yeah, that's my favorite one for sure, without a doubt.
Not just my favorite Star Wars. It's my favorite movie ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
my
makes two
favorite
of us.
Star Wars, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
There's
Like I said, I was wearing this shirt at work today. Some guy was like, "Oh, nice shirt." No, I was like, "It's the best movie ever made." Son. Like that was how I said it to him. I'm like, "That's the best movie ever made, son." Like, don't be nice shirting me, dude. Like,
it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that movie. Not one part.
and I'm a sucker for bad guys winning, and the bad guys are winning at the end of
Right.
Empire. My number
You got
3.
3, homie. Yep.
My number 3 is the ship that single-handedly took down Death Star 1, lock-ass foils in attack position. It's the X-Wing. I mean, the hottest Christmas toy of Christmas 1997.
Of any Christmas, bro. Of any Christmas.
Your boy received one Christmas of '97. Got a toy X-Wing again. Didn't survive childhood. It isn't crazy. Like I was probably sitting on like thousands and thousands of
I know.
dollars
I
if
think
we
about it
just
all the time.
if we just
With
didn't
wrestlers and
smash
stuff.
them.
Oh my god.
It's
But I mean-
crazy. It's crazy just how. You know,
I'd say the X-Wing is probably the second most iconic Star Wars spaceship of all time.
Yeah.
Close to one, but my argument is that it's number two. I mean, talk about just the silly little design that wound up becoming so successful. You think George Lucas ever would have pictured when he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna call it the X-Wing because the wings are gonna open like
Yep.
scissors."
the key to the success of that was the toy, because the toy, you know, it was the first Star Wars vehicle they produced was the X-Wing, and they got the mechanism to where you push
Push the lever on the back.
Well,
Down and
no,
over. That was the one, the '97 one.
the original one was R2D2. When you pushed his head down,
Yeah.
then the wings would open.
Oh, that's sick.
It was awesome. Classic toy.
Yeah, so the one I had, it had the little lever in the back,
Yeah.
and you push it down and over, and then R2D2's head would spin
Yeah.
when you push the. It came with the Luke in the flight suit.
Yeah.
Sick toy,
Great
sick
toy.
vehicle. I mean, it's really. When we talk about doing damage in actual on-screen Star Wars dogfights, it's got to be number one for the Rebel fleet.
100%. So my number 3?
Yes, sir.
Number 3, I have the original TIE Fighter. What else can I say about it? To me, it's the third most iconic. There's 3 vehicles that are super iconic. They're my top 3. They're my 3 favorite vehicles in Star Wars. You know, flying vehicles. You know, they're just, it's iconic. The sound is iconic. You know, you could have your eyes closed.
Yeah.
You know, you could show anybody a picture of a TIE Fighter, they know what it sounds like.
I didn't even think about the sound until you
Yeah.
just said
Yeah.
that. But as soon as you did, yeah.
Well, the sound is so, that's the key. That's why Star Wars works. Because you could watch a movie that doesn't have good sound design, and you could thank Ben Burt for that. Ben Burt is a fucking genius.
You ever seen like the docs of them going out and getting the sounds?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
amazing.
For, like the blaster fire, the
I had
guys
to
like
watch a
bouncing
documentary
a
on it
quarter off,
in
off
school.
of the fence.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
insane. You know?
Insane.
We watched the whole documentary on audio production.
Yeah, the
It's
music
awesome.
definitely is what makes Star Wars work.
Well, no, it's not just the music, but like the lightsaber sound.
Yeah, that's what
the
I mean.
X-Wing
the sounds,
sound,
the
yeah.
sound effects. Sorry.
Yeah, and like the music, John Williams. That's a whole nother story. Without John Williams' score, you know, Star Wars could be the shittiest movie of all
I
time.
mean, Star Wars is one movie that did really bad in 1977. If a couple of things didn't go the right
Oh
way.
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys know the story, but Spielberg and Lucas, Spielberg had Close Encounters of
Yes.
the Third Kind coming out, and Lucas had Star Wars coming out, and Spielberg was coming off of Jaws, which was the biggest movie of all time,
Right.
and Lucas was coming off American Graffiti, which was incredibly critically acclaimed. So Spielberg said, "Oh no, your movie's going to do better than mine." Lucas said, "No, your movie's going to do better than mine," and then they bet each other on the royalties for the movies. So Lucas took the royalties from Close Encounters. Spielberg took the
10%, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like I mean, it might not have been like the complete royalties because obviously Lucas would not have the money he had. But
Right.
it was like I think the first royalty check, which is usually at the time was like the biggest check. They bet that on the 2
Jeez.
movies, which was insane. And Spielberg ended up winning.
Yeah, Spielberg definitely made out like a bandit.
Yeah.
Although Close Encounters was have you guys seen Close Encounters of the
No.
Third Kind? I
Don't
think
so.
I mean, Jaws is probably it's Empire Strikes Back, Alien, and Jaws. Those 3 movies are my 3 favorite movies. Like, will always be 1, 2, and 3. And Close Encounters of the Third Kind is, like I said, Spielberg coming off of Jaws. It's phenomenal. It's such like without showing you anything, the suspense, drama, and anxiety that movie builds within you. He makes you feel like nobody can make you feel. And Close Encounters is like not a really well-known movie of his. And I highly suggest that if you haven't seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, to go pick up that movie and watch it. It's phenomenal.
I was gonna say, I've definitely heard about it.
Richard
Yeah, I don't know
Dreyfuss.
if I've seen it, though.
Richard Dreyfuss puts on a hell of a performance, a phenomenal performance. The music, the mood of that movie, that movie makes you feel like no other movie. I mean, I probably overhyped it now, but it's a great movie.
Might have to throw it on later on tonight. I might throw
Dude,
it on.
it's-
We'll see.
It's like again, it's not, you know, I don't know, you just have to see it. It's a good fucking movie. I don't want to ruin it because it's like I love it. So where were we at? Am I
Brian for
3.
2.
3.
three?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're
So-
right. I forgot I hijacked it.
This is kind of like the part of my list where we're kind of just getting into like a stereotypical, like, we kind of know what these are going to be. My number 3 is the Millennium Falcon. I mean, I don't really know what more has to be said.
It's too low.
You think it's too low?
Way too low.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was too high.
No.
Way too low.
Too low.
Here
Alright,
I was
well, then
thinking,
I'll hold off and I'll wait for you guys to take it
here
higher.
I was thinking Jack was gonna be the one who fucked us up because I know he also wouldn't have had it.
Damn, I thought
There's
I was
not a
going,
wrong. Here's the thing. There's not a wrong answer to this.
I just thought I was going too low, to be honest with you.
Like too high.
I mean, sorry, too high, right?
Yeah, it was too low.
Too low.
3's too low.
Too low.
Damn.
My number 2, Whitey talked about it already. It's the Slave One.
I can't hate it. I can't. Hate
Very just badass looking, especially across the or given array of fleet by the time we get to Return of the Jedi. Like with everything that's readily available to us, at this point it's just the 3 movies. Different looking, a little ominous to it. Definitely badass, and then we get to Attack of the Clones and we see Jango whipping that thing around like
So,
Tom Cruise and Top Gun, like going. No one's got a chance against him. It feels like, and then I haven't really seen a lot of the Book of Boba stuff yet. But even it was in the end of the Mandalorian, right?
yeah.
Slave One is, and by the way, I can't believe it's called the Slave One. Disney, I know you tried to change it. Boba Fett's Star Cruiser, it's the fucking Slave One.
I understand. I don't. You don't have to like it.
I don't.
I understand. I don't like it either. It's on my list. Slave One. It will be the Slave One till the day that most people die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the Slave One, dude.
It's the Slave One.
So they don't address it as Slave One in Book of Boba as well.
It's Boba Fett's ship.
But in the show, they don't address it as it's lame, dude. Fuck that. The Slave One's badass, and then getting into all of the games, which obviously you've already said has had an impact on my list. The Slave One is one of the more fun ships to pilot around. I don't know if it's in Rogue Squadron was 64, right? What was Rogue Leader the game that came out on GameCube?
Whichever one was on GameCube
Was the one the Slave
I think it was Rogue Squadron also. It was Rogue Squadron and then Rogue Squadron something else. There was two because Nintendo owned Rogue Squadron, or like was partnered with Lucasfilm.
I think it was Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader.
Yes, because Lucas made a deal with each of the video game systems so they could produce their own unique Star Wars game.
So what was like Sony?
They had Episode 1 and Episode 3. They didn't make an Attack of the Clones. I think they Jedi Starfighter and because like some of those Attack of the Clones ones were across all platforms, but they had Episode 1. There was only Episode 1 game that they made that was like the story based episode.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Because Pod Racer was the Nintendo 64 version.
Yeah.
So he made deals with each of the companies. Because it was Dreamcast had a game, I think. Didn't Dreamcast have a Star Wars game?
Probably.
Yeah, it might have.
And then, but it was like unique to Dreamcast. It wasn't like across the platforms. You know what I mean?
Did anyone get TIE Fighter, or did that die with PC?
I think that died with PC.
And
I
the
just
X-Wing game?
found at an estate sale it was like 4 PC games, like Dark Forces, and I think the Old Republic. What's the
KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic.
yeah?
Great game.
It's
Not
like
just good, great game.
it's like 4, but they're all PC games.
Yeah. You could get Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 on the original Xbox, and they were tremendous.
Yeah, people love those games.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Elder Scrolls for Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Tremendous. So yeah, Slave One, fantastic. It's called the Slave One. It's one of my favorite Star Wars ships. Even like forget about all the Boba stuff you were saying before. The ship itself is incredible.
Oh, it's sick. Awesome design. Phenomenal toy.
Oh yeah, it was another great toy I had too.
So they just made an updated version in the Star Wars Vintage Collection, which is like the current Star Wars line that's out there, or one of the current Star Wars lines that's out there. It's one of the best toys they've ever, like for an adult collector. I'm like, this is out of control. Like it's got the cockpit, it's got the spot for Han and the carbonite. It's unreal.
Does it still have the handle in the back?
No, it's like way more like
It's like meant to be displayed.
yeah.
Not meant
It's
to
like
be
the
displayed.
Razor Crest that you saw that I
Yeah.
had.
Gotcha.
Anybody knows I'm talking about the HasLab Razor Crest, and I'm talking about the Vintage Collection Slave One. If you know what I'm talking about, you know, sick toys.
You're up for number 2.
Number 2, we have the Rebel Alliance's #1 fighter ship. Excuse me, easy for me to say, and that is the X-wing. It's Luke's ship of choice. It's I mean, we've all put it on the list because it's sick. Sick.
Yeah, no, definitely iconic.
So it's just it's iconic, and it's Luke's ship. Like Mandalorian when Luke flies the fucking X-wing in there. It's like,
Yeah, fuck yeah. It almost made me mad that they were still using X-wings in the sequels.
Yeah.
It's like going forward, you had a golden opportunity for the X-wing just to be Luke's relic.
and we're gonna get here. As much as I can't stand The Last Jedi, the opening scene with Poe in the X-wing,
Yeah.
phenomenal, so good. Like when he's in there and he's like fucking jerking the joystick and like whipping around in that thing.
He's another one who's amazing.
Oscar
Oscar
Isaac.
Isaacs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good actor.
What else is he in?
Did you ever see Drive? He's in Drive.
Yeah, Drive's one of my favorite movies.
He plays such a
Love that
scumbag in that
movie.
movie.
Oh,
but
no,
it's
I
like,
love that movie.
It's Moon Knight, which
Yeah.
I've only seen.
And yeah, he is a scumbag in that movie.
but he plays it so good.
That's yeah.
He's so versatile, Oscar Isaac. Drive is a great movie.
That's literally one of my favorite movies ever made.
Great
Love
movie.
Drive.
Really?
Yes.
You never saw it?
Oh, it's so
I
good.
may have back
Oh,
in
it's
the
a great
day.
movie.
Yeah.
Great. I saw it in the theaters. It's a great movie.
I wish I did. I saw it years after, and I was
Yeah.
like, I fucking totally missed all this one.
Gotta put that on the
And it wasn't-
rewatch list.
It wasn't, for whatever reason, they didn't have it anywhere local. I had to go see it in like Deer Park.
Really?
Yeah, it was like I had to go far to go
It's
see
a
it.
hike for you, boy. That's over an hour, no?
Yeah,
From
that's
West
when I was living in
Jeez.
West Hampton.
Yeah.
And I like wanted to see that movie. Got like great reviews. I thought the trailers looked great, and like took myself and got stoned as shit and saw Drive.
Yeah.
You went to a late show or what?
It was probably like I got off of work and went, so it was probably like 8, 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh.
literally, I remember I brought clothes. I brought like this, big fat joint, obviously, and went and sat in the parking lot, the Deer Park movie theater, and got myself a big old tub of popcorn and a soda, and it was 90 minutes of awesome.
Yeah. Tense.
I love
Tense the whole time.
I love the late night solo movie trip.
So my shirt, one of my favorite midnight showings of a movie. We went to the Hampton Bays movie theater, which in West Hampton we used to call Hampton Bays Harlem Bays, and legit, I was the one of like 2 white people in the whole theater, and like the whole theater was like covered in pot smoke.
Really?
It was
That's
fucking.
funny.
And
That's
I
awesome.
nobody did anything about it. This was back in whenever the
I think it was like 2008.
We were in high
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's not a great movie, but I because of the experience, I like. I really like that movie. It's fucking Biggie. You know what I mean?
It's-
Of course. Number 2?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I might catch flack on this one, but I hope not, because we've been talking about the TIE fighters a bit. But I went with this one specifically for me because it's my favorite design, I guess, as far as like TIE fighter goes. The TIE bomber. To be
Oh.
honest. I know. But this, personally, for me, I thought it looked the sickest out of all of them.
You know what? I don't hate it. It's like it's slow. It's a bomb.
I don't hate it. I'm just concerned that your number 2 slot alone is
I
going to
mean-
give it enough points. I'm just concerned it's going to have enough
Listen,
points
it easily could
So
be.
what?
to make the final
It
list.
easily could be interchangeable with the Interceptor, to be honest. I just personally, this was my favorite design as far as like how all of them look.
Yeah, it's a cooler
practically-
design.
Like Whitey was saying, it's slow. It's not for a dogfight, it's to bomb. It's not
Yeah.
but I thought it looks cool, to be honest.
They're busy during the dogfight trying to get those shields down.
Yeah.
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 Listen, it's still a cool fucking shit. Like that
Yeah.
scene when they're like in the mouth of the monster in the asteroid, and they're just like flying over.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. All right,
It's
here
time.
it is.
I feel like I already know what's going to happen here.
I feel like me and Whitebread got the same number 1.
I think so too.
And how you didn't have
I mean,
a number 1?
by
it's
proxy, it
I'm
has
sorry,
to be,
guys.
right?
I'm sorry. I thought
It's
differently. This happens a lot, Escott.
It's the fastest ship in the galaxy. It did the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. It's responsible for the destruction of the second Death Star.
and the first
And partially responsible
I
for
know
the
Luke
destruction of
Luke made the
first.
shot, but without Han saving his ass, he don't make that shot.
It's the fucking Falcon, baby. It's the Millennium Falcon, the Corellian cargo ship, cargo freighter, turned smuggling a masterpiece.
Beast.
Yeah,
Beast.
masterpiece. Even to the point, like in the Star Wars trailer for Force Awakens. You see that fucking Millennium
Oh,
Falcon
yeah.
come over the top? We popped, dude. We were at work and we're like, the new Star Wars trailer comes out tomorrow, and we like made plans. We went to his apartment after. We
No social media that day. Like,
yeah, and everyone
Yeah.
stayed off of Twitter. We got super baked and watched the trailer like 5 times.
Because I'm like, all right, it looks cool, and then it was the Falcon, and I was like a 5-year-old kid again.
Yeah,
I was
dude,
like, it's the
that's-
fucking Falcon.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like that, the sound of it, you know, like everything about it, like the best scenes and stuff, like the asteroid
I
field,
forget what it's called, but the little chess game they play, there's a name for the game.
the
now.
Jarek or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not that not that geeky. I mean, when it
Yeah,
comes to it,
I'm not that geeky either. I don't even know what the actual
Like,
game was
they're
called,
like-
but-
I was, you know, like your brother was talking about how he listens to the Star Wars podcast. I listen to Theory once in a while just because like how nerdy he is, and like I like to hear his opinion on it. Like I can't stand him, but I like for whatever reason I like to hear his opinion. And he's like, oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi used the 0.7 lightsaber technique. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, 0.7 lightsaber. Like,
yeah, when people get into saber forms and stuff, it gets wild. There's like there are TikTok accounts that are just like Jedi lightsaber techniques.
Yeah,
And it's just
really?
like,
Yeah, it's
Ahsoka goes between 3, 6. It's
See,
a lot. Dude.
I like-
Get a job. What are you doing?
Like I like my figures. I like to make my display. Like I have my Death Star display. I have my Hoth display. I have my Jabba's Palace display. I have the Cantina display. And like I get a new guy and just pop him in the display, and like, you know, I go
That's
down,
it. Yeah.
go downstairs and check it out. You know, I might move some guys around so it doesn't get dusty. You know what I mean? Like that's. And like Indiana Jones hangs out with Han Solo in my house.
Probably absolutely my favorite Star Wars toy was the Falcon. I think the 97 Falcon. The bigger one with the top that came off the back with the whole play set.
Well, that's the
with the
so.
little table for the chess game and all that.
All right, so every single action figure Millennium Falcon that was created by the same person. He created literally the original one, and he created the new one for The Force Awakens, and that was the last Millennium. Or no, sorry, for Solo. The last one that they made was like the newer looking Falcon for Solo. But he literally designed every single action figure Falcon toy, and the one that you're referring to is literally from 1977 to 2008. That was the only action figure Millennium Falcon you can get. There was different versions of it. There was like different sounds that each one had, but essentially that back compartment where you open up the top is the same toy in each one of those toys. And then in 2008, that's the DWAP one that I have in my basement that they came out with. It's called the Legacy Collection one. It's not even a toy. It's like a museum
It's a
piece.
display piece.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like a massive display piece. It's so cool.
Well, the one that I had was cool because it doubled as the
You can fly it
the
as a
figure
ship.
flyer, and then it's also a playset.
Yeah, it's a place. It was a cool. It's
Yeah.
just an iconic toy. It's an iconic ship. It's a character in the movie. I don't care what anybody says.
100%.
Like
That's fair.
the best dogfight scene in Star Wars. Like you could argue that it's not dogfight scene in Star Wars, but the best dogfight scene in A New Hope. You could argue that it's the Death Star trench run because it's phenomenal. But that TIE fighter fight when they leave the Death Star is exhilarating. You know what I mean? When like Luke and
Yeah.
Han are in the
Mhm.
in the gunner stations. And then I think the best of any scene in space is the asteroid scene in Empire Strikes Back, when they go into the asteroid field, like with the music, the way it's shot, like that solidified the Millennium Falcon as the greatest, not just the greatest ship in Star Wars, the greatest spaceship of all time.
Yes to the gunner scene. Yes to the asteroid scene. I think what levels up the Falcon and Han for me is when you finally get old enough to the point that you realize he's a glorified drug dealer.
Oh yeah.
Spice is drugs in Star Wars.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's
Right.
mostly smuggling spice, and he's essentially like the plug, dude.
I mean,
Imagine if your
basically.
plug became general of the army overnight.
no, you know what he is?
Like-
He's the guy that used to fly the cocaine from Escobar into the States. That's who he is.
Mm.
So he's not really a drug dealer. He's just
He's a trafficker.
yeah, he's a trafficker.
He makes the
Tomato,
big
tomato.
moves.
Yeah, he's still the plug.
But they do more than just smuggle spice. I mean, like in Force Awakens, he's smuggling, what are they, Raftars?
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
he smuggles all kinds of shit.
Yeah, he smuggles
spices like
whatever's going to pay the bills, whatever's going to get Jabba off his back. Solo 2 should have been how he got in trouble with Jabba.
That's I think where they were going.
I mean,
They said they were going to Tatooine.
Solo
At
is
the end of Solo,
underrated.
right?
Mm.
Solo is an
You
underrated.
seen Solo?
No.
Oh, very good.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Super underrated.
Yeah, Childish Gambino plays young
I knew
Lando.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Does
so
a very,
good.
very good job.
Really?
So good.
Yeah. Sorry, Donald Glover, right? He retired.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
He retired the moniker.
No, he's still Childish Gambino on Twitter.
I thought he was done with music.
No, he's still
I
rapping.
don't think so. Yeah,
I thought he was putting out one more album, and then
he might be. I don't know.
it was that album that he just put out.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I know he was producing Atlanta for a very long time,
Yeah.
and that's over. So I don't know what the plan is now.
No, they're done with Atlanta.
I think this was
Oh,
the
it
last
ended?
season. Yeah, I think the last season's on TV.
I haven't
now.
started that yet. I heard it's very good.
Such
I
a
watched the
good
first
show.
season; it was
Such a
very
good
good.
show.
And then by the time the second season came out, I
Yeah.
have to. Now I'm at the point where I have to rewatch all of it. You know, I'm at the same
Right.
point with Dave, where I have to start at the beginning and rewatch all of it.
I have a kid. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that.
We're watching like cartoons, like Sing 2. Seen Sing 2 like 5 times already.
Jeez.
Coco.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's like now it's like 5 times is the number. Like if she really likes something, we're gonna see it about 5 times.
That's a nice, healthy number.
Like Sing, she like we were supposed to go see Sing in the movie theaters, and then we didn't, and then it came out at the library, so we got it from the library and watched it 3 times before I went back to the library, and now it's on Netflix.
Oh God. So
I
now
was
it's
like,
on
Every
Oh,
day,
thank God.
sing.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God it's going back to the library. Daddy,
And now
it's on Netflix. Because now she knows how to work the Roku, which
Big
is
smile
scary.
ear to ear.
She just no, it's nice. She sits and just quiet. She like sits and watches.
I mean, when she found out it was on Netflix.
Oh, super happy.
Yeah.
Super happy.
She is a little sweetheart. You got anything else on the Falcon?
I think. I mean, what else can you say about it? It's the Falcon. It's Han's ship. Han's best character, Star Wars. We'll get there.
And more importantly, Han shot first.
I mean, come on. We don't even have to argue that.
No, I won't argue it. Han shot first.
So number one, you guys probably already know what it is. We've gone over it. The X-wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
See, you're not. You can't even fight that. You can't even argue. Like you. Like,
I know.
Like we both picked the Falcon because it's
But
the
I
right
can see
choice.
why the Falcons won.
But X-wing is also the
Definitely.
right choice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The TIE bomber was like the one that's.
I know, but that was for me. That was for
one of
me.
the-
Listen, that's how you got to do it. You
Well,
gotta
one
do
would
it
have been
like-
the right choice. Would have been the B-wing in the top 3.
No, I put the B-wing 10 because I knew it wasn't practical, but I liked the way it looked, honestly.
No, the B-wing is badass, man.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go crazy with the X-wing. Just like you guys were saying, it's one of the most identifiable aircrafts. If besides the TIE fighter, it's just as much Star Wars as anything else, as Darth Vader, as TIE fighter, as Luke. It fits the mold of people see it, they know what it
Yeah,
is.
Star Wars, lightsabers and X-wings. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, it's a staple.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word, honestly.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the X-wing at 1. Not at all. It's going to have a lot of points. It might wind up at 1.
How can it,
It
though?
might.
Huh?
How can it?
What do you mean?
The bomber.
No,
not the bomber,
X-wing.
not the bomber.
No, the X-wing. No,
Hopefully the bomber doesn't make it at
The
all.
bomber might make the list, though. We're going to...
What do we do? Top 5? Is that how we did?
No. So I'll show you off air after we take this quick break.
It's a new year, and with the new year comes new resolutions. And what's going to help you complete the resolutions that you set forward for yourself this year? Inspiration. And we have just the company for you that's focused around inspiration. Head on over to staythirstyco.com and put in the code HAVOC to get 15% off on your next order. And make sure you take a look over at the Winter 2022 collection. That's staythirstyco.com. Drop the OY and focus on you.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back. As always, the best way to support the show is to support the sponsors. You support the sponsors, you're supporting the boys. We have the top 10 list. We have a couple of debates to have. Right off the bat, we have one. 2 enter, 1 leaves for the 10 spot.
Oh, God.
It's the Imperial Shuttle, head-to-head,
I know you're going to
with
say.
the TIE bomber.
I'll just let him have it.
Say-
I'm not going to
the
argue.
the quickest white flag we've ever seen in the history of
You
top
just
10.
giving it up right there?
I mean, it was for me. I can't even argue like it's...
I mean, the Imperial Shuttle was for me too, man. That's just the ship I like. I mean, if we're going to argue it, like I said...
Well, you know what it is? The only reason I'm going to give it to you is because when you were describing the Imperial Shuttle, I could see it back in my head watching that movie as a child. I'm like, yep, I know exactly the scene he's talking about. So,
like, think about the Emperor or Vader.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
I fucked up.
Oh,
we came
no.
to a complete agreement here.
Yeah, well, we have time for that later.
Okay.
It's fucking, now I feel like I pre-came.
Okay.
It's not the shuttle against the bomber, it's the shuttle against the gunship.
Oh.
And now
Okay.
I feel like it's more of a debate because I think the gunship is an absolute warhorse. I'll give you, the shuttle has its menacing qualities to it and definitely a sick ship like in the original Star Wars movie. But if we're talking about what I want to be on in a fight, the gunship is a small battle station in the air.
If we're gonna base it on a dogfight, the gunship would annihilate the Imperial shuttle. Vader or the Emperor on it would stand.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
But knowing that either Vader or the Emperor could be on that ship, that's got to be menacing enough, because if they're not just going to let the Emperor when the Emperor gets onto the Death Star, look at the procession that they put out for him. It's insane. How many stormtroopers, how many royal guards, how many Imperial officers, how many TIE fighters are circling the Death Star as he's coming in.
Right.
I mean, so that ship alone just coming in is like an absolute show of power. But again, in a dogfight, it would get rocked.
Riggedy rocked.
So if we're going based on a dogfight, which that's the parameters he gave me, I think we got to give it to the gunship.
All right, I'll take that win. I'll take the gunship victory, I guess.
Because you said to me what would do well in a dogfight, and that's why the Imperial shuttle would get trounced.
Yeah, it would not.
I mean,
it would not do well.
Maybe against the bombers, it would do, like if we were doing a tournament bracket of fighters. Maybe Dooku's ship it would light up.
It would have to light up Dooku's ship.
And maybe
just put a hole in the sail.
Maybe the
that's how it flies.
What were we just talking about?
The bomber, the shuttle,
the bombers. It would maybe light up the bomber. Other than that, I think it probably loses to everything else. An A-wing, that'd be kind of a cool fight.
Yeah.
Maybe a snow speeder, maybe, but a snow speeder is like quick. So.
A-wing against the shuttle is like watching two 7-year-old boys box.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you got it.
Number 9, I think, is a fitting spot for it on the list, even though I didn't have it on my list. It's the snow speeder. It's 7 points.
Yeah, snow speeder is lit.
Taking down the AT-AT, the only known AT-AT not the only known AT-AT taken down, but as far as the first 3 movies go, it's the only known AT-AT taken down.
Wedge did that. It's all Wedge. Well, Wedge and
the Gunner, whatever his name is.
It's not Dak, because Dak was with Luke. It's
gets toasted.
Jensen? Is it Jensen? No, Jensen's. Who's the guy that gets lit up in the snow speeder? He's the one that repeat. I found them. Repeat. I found them.
Yeah.
I forget what his name is.
6, 7, 8. It's a 3-way tie.
Oh man!
Wow.
9 points apiece.
So do we have to rank them now?
We have to figure out what's what and who's who.
Go ahead.
This is the Star Destroyer against the bomber.
Yeah, we'll drop bomber
against its much sleeker counterpart, the TIE Interceptor.
All right, so easily we'll put TIE bomber down.
TIE bomber at 8.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right, here's the. I mean, in a dogfight, because a Star Destroyer can maneuver in a dogfight. Because a Star Destroyer is not slow. I mean, we've seen in Star Wars, a Star Destroyer can move. It may not be able to go left to right, but forward and backward, that thing can move.
Mm-hmm.
So how many TIE Interceptors would it take to take down a Star Destroyer?
Multiple battalions.
Probably a lot. Yeah, probably a lot.
I mean, I'm going to argue for the Star Destroyer. That's my argument.
Yeah, because it could just sit back and pick them off, honestly.
Tell me your boy fucked this up twice.
Oh, Hawkajos.
White bread.
It's the Jedi Interceptor, not the TIE Interceptor. That's why, because I just wrote down Interceptor. It's the Jedi Interceptor, but I still think same rules apply.
I think I kind of stand by the same.
Yeah.
I still think the Star Destroyer lights it. Like Star Destroyer is, even in the games, the boss.
The only argument that you could have on that is that if there's no Palpatine, no Sheev, or Vader on that Star Destroyer, and then you got a Jedi in the Interceptor, you got a Master of the Force. But I still don't. No, not one.
No.
Maybe if you had the entire order out there, the best of the best Jedi pilots that ever existed.
Like Plo Koon?
Yeah, Plo Koon, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Yoda, Yaddle. I mean, I don't know if either one of them are pilots, but you get what I'm saying.
No, Yoda had a starfighter.
Did he?
How did he get the Dagobah? They didn't just drop him off. All right, peace out, Yoda.
Pod?
Maybe.
He sent himself into exile.
He has a toy one, so that's why.
Does he?
Yeah. He's got a Delta one and he's got an Interceptor.
Green, obviously.
Yeah, I literally just sold one.
Really?
Yeah, maybe a week ago.
So yeah, I think same rules still apply though. Jedi Interceptor 7. And Star Destroyer at 6.
Nice. I'll fight for the Star Destroyer. It's one of my favorites. Just power. Just like power.
Yeah, it's just a brute,
Like even that opening scene in The Last Jedi, I was so excited when that opening scene happened. I didn't love the whole slow motion with the chick kicking kicking the thing to get her sister's pendant and all that other stuff, or the whatever the remote.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't love that, but everything else about it I really liked a lot. And like when the Star Destroyers are coming out of hyperspace over the and you're just like it's just like oh it's over.
Oh, it was over before it started.
Yeah.
It was over about 3 weeks ago. Number 5 with 11 points is the TIE Interceptor.
Yeah, badass vehicle. We all agree.
Number 4 with 12 points, 1 point difference, is the TIE Fighter.
Wow.
Ooh.
I think it should be higher, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, number 3 with 14 points is the Slave One.
Okay.
Number 2 with 27 points is the X-Wing. And number 1 with 28 points is the Millennium Falcon.
It's got to be the Falcon.
It's 1 point difference between the Falcon and the X-Wing.
Yeah, but that's legit.
Yeah, no, I like
The
that.
way it should be.
The TIE Fighter should be above the Slave One, you think?
In my
How many TIE Fighters takes down a Slave One? 50?
No, he couldn't do 50. Cause like
He's got that ion bomb. The charges.
2, no problem.
Easy to.
4 might be an issue.
You think so?
Depends on their attack formation. Like you got 4 TIE fighters coming in at you. Like when you're playing the game, and it's like that box formation with the 4 TIE fighters, very easy to take them out.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you go 1-on-1 in any of the games, it's very difficult to take down a TIE fighter.
Yeah, it's that quick.
Yeah. So I mean, and the Slave One is not slow, but it's not the Falcon.
Boba's gonna get 2 of them to fly into each other.
I think comfortably he could take down up to 20, but 20 is like he's got to.
We're struggling.
Yeah, it's his best effort is 20. He ain't beating more than 20. 21 he's still out. He's done so.
They could easily put out 21 TIE fighters. I still think it's sicker than the TIE fighter.
I mean, listen, the Falcon, which we all picked as number, not all of us picked as number 1, but made it to our number 1, had a hard time in an asteroid field with 4 of them. So, I mean, no asteroid field, I think 30 would be a comfortable number for the Falcon. You're putting 35, 40 out there, that's like, he's going to have a hard time.
Yeah, but he also doesn't have anybody to work the guns on the Falcon when they're running away from them in the asteroid field.
No, I mean, if you have the Falcon...
You got a full crew on that Falcon?
Full crew on that Falcon?
Fully operational.
Yeah, you're having a hard time with the Falcon. Falcon's a tough ship to take down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's undefeated.
I still
Never
think...
been taken
I
down.
mean, the only reason I say the TIE Fighter just because of how iconic it is in Star Wars, and easily probably I would say after the Falcon and the X-Wing, that's the next ship that comes in your mind.
Yeah,
in my mind, at least.
especially for the casuals.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for like real tighter, like diehard fans, like somewhere between Bryan and Will, those fans that lie somewhere in the middle would argue the Slave One is probably just as iconic as a TIE Fighter.
Well, that's understandable because of how important that scene in Attack of the Clones. That's the best scene in Attack of the Clones.
100%.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, in my opinion, that's the best. You know, you could say the Dooku Anakin fight with the 2 lightsabers that Anakin's wielding. That's like pretty cool. You know, Yoda coming out, pretty cool.
Yoda fighting Dooku.
Yeah, pretty.
Yoda fighting Palps. Sheev. He's still Sheev at that point.
But Sheev.
Sheev Palpatine. That's his first name. Sheev.
I did not know that.
Sheev, baby. Chancellor Sheev Palpatine. So one more time, from bottom to top. I guess we'll honorable mention TIE Bomber.
Fair enough.
Number 10. Honorable mention TIE Bomber. No, TIE Bomber's on there. Honorable mention the Shuttle. You boys all over the place today. Honorable mention the Shuttle. Number 10, Republic Gunship. Number 9, Snowspeeder. Number 8, TIE Bomber. Number 7, the Jedi Interceptor.
That TIE Bomber, man.
Yeah. I didn't think it'd have such an impact, honestly.
It's really fucking the whole flow of the list up, man. Number 6, the Star Destroyer. The Star Destroyer, not the Super Star Destroyer.
Listen, Whitebird, you had to go by the rules, though. You can't just, like, make rules and regulations and then not go with it. And because he voted it so high, it got it on there. So
with the TIE Bomber?
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant it was I kept fucking making mistakes all my reading involving the TIE Bomber. No, I mean, it is what it is. Listen, we did fast food. Did you listen to the fast food one?
Listen,
And
you guys...
Jack with this cherry limeade nonsense?
You guys wouldn't put the fish fillet in there, and that's travesty.
No, we were
justice.
universally against fast food fish, dude.
All right, first of all, you said you never had one. And here's the thing. You would think a fillet of fish is disgusting. It's one of the top 5 fish sandwiches that you can get.
People say that.
I'm sure it's in the top 5 fast food fish sandwiches you can get.
Because here's the thing,
but that still doesn't put it in my top 96 fast food items.
Here's the thing. if a fast food burger is okay, anything on the menu is fair game. That's the thing. So like, because like a fast food burger is disgusting.
Yeah, I don't eat
You know
burgers
that
from
better
fast
than
food,
anybody.
but
Yeah.
yes.
They are.
And like fast food chicken is disgusting. I'll argue that Wendy's makes a nice piece of chicken. Maybe Popeyes is okay.
Wendy's is
KFC I
the
won't even
best.
go near. But like you trust fast food chicken, but you don't trust a fried fast food fish.
No,
That's-
No. Yeah.
Don't.
No.
I can't do it.
How about what's your like? You only will eat fresh fish, or do you eat fish out of the freezer?
No, I eat fish out of the freezer.
Like a Gordon's
Yeah.
fisherman. So
Yeah.
there's no difference. You'll eat that, but you won't eat a fillet of
I
fish.
don't know.
Nah.
All right, do me a
Can't do
favor. One day you're gonna be at McDonald's and you're gonna go. Whitey's gonna pop in your head, and he's gonna go fillet of fish, get one, and then you're gonna get one, and then you're gonna thank me.
Or hate you.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
or I can hate you.
Listen. Has Whitey ever steered you in the wrong direction when it comes to food?
No.
Ever?
No, but I feel like you could be right now. I feel like this is that moment.
Okay.
Coming
So
up on 10 years ago that we met. 10 years is a long time to never
I'm gonna
get
tell you
one
this.
wreck wrong.
there's just like McDonald's. Like, yes, a Big Mac is good. Chicken nuggets are good. You know, McFlurry's like, who doesn't like a McFlurry? Fillet of fish is like the one everybody's afraid of, and then you try the fillet of fish, and you're like, I mean, I'm telling you, you have to.
Maybe I'll consider it one day.
What you're gonna be there one day, and you're gonna think of me, and you're gonna get that fillet of fish. You know, bite into it, and you're like, motherfucker, Whitey was right.
I hope not.
Why wouldn't you want? You
No,
would
no.
want it to be delicious.
I don't want it to be delicious.
because then you're gonna crave it. That's what happens.
Nah.
Like sometimes.
Won't do
Then
it.
you're gonna crave.
So there's like a halal place that's like banging that's by my house that I get on the way home from work sometimes on Fridays, and then I'll bring Jamie whatever she wants, and I'll bring Fiona McDonald's. And sometimes, even though I know I have my halal sitting there, and I'm like, can I get a chicken nugget Happy Meal? Anything else? And then I think on it for a minute, and in my head always pops up fillet of fish, and then I always pass. But there's a rare occasion when I got my halal sitting there, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat a fillet of fish anyway.
Fillet of fish and a halal. Your stomach loves you. Finish it up. 6, like we said, not the Super Star Destroyer, the smaller Star Destroyer. It's more maneuverable.
Right.
Just the regular Star Destroyer.
Number 5, TIE Interceptor. Number 4, TIE Fighter. Number 3, Slave 1. Number 2, X-Wing. Number 1 is the Millennium Falcon. That's the top 10 Star Wars aircraft. Like we said earlier in the show when Jack popped in, there's plenty of opportunity for Star Wars
Yes.
top 10s and other Star Wars podcasts. So I'm sure this is not the last we'll be seeing of you.
Listen, can you tell all of the millions of listeners that we have on this podcast
And millions.
that if they want to hear a Star Wars topic discussed, where can they find you, Whitebread?
Oh, that's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at HOH Podcasting.
Listen to these podcasts. They're all entertaining. It's a bunch
So this is coming out first or second week of August. So while we're here, Parlez-Vous, the show that started it all, the football gambling podcast, will be making its triumphant return at the end of this month. So be sure to look out for that. The Rewind hopefully should be coming out for season 2 around the same, like start of football season, September. So that'll be coming out too as well.
You can have Whitey back on the Rewind?
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
What are we going to do?
We're doing all book adaptations for season 2.
Let me get Jaws,
So
bro.
I have a list.
Your boy is like an infinite wealth of Jaws knowledge.
Okay.
Have you seen Jaws?
No.
Really? You've never seen Jaws?
July 4th,
Shit.
Whitey is planning on projecting. I
know you do this every 4th of July.
I've watched Jaws every 4th of July since I'm
I can't
5.
believe you've never seen Jaws.
Since I'm
I
5.
mean, you know, bits and
Yeah.
pieces.
And it scared the fucking shit out of me.
It
I
scared
didn't-
everybody.
I didn't sleep for literally like, because I was 5.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
8-year-old Whitey, favorite movie. It's like, you know, but like 5-year-old Whitey, didn't go in a swimming pool, didn't go in the ocean, scared the fucking shit out of me. And like to this day, like I go in the ocean and I get like a little.
Yeah, dude, because we weren't built for it, dude. We don't got gills and
Yeah.
scales.
No,
We're
but
killing it on land.
listen, if it pulls me out, the ocean pulls me out. Like I can't do nothing about that. But if there's a fucking shark attack, it's like
Right.
my nightmare of
Yeah.
nightmares.
Yeah.
Like this thing just eating me. Like
You're not in your
so,
element.
if you're
not
gonna
ready
do
to
if you're gonna do a book adaptation, that'd be a good one.
I gotta see if I have open slots because I know I have.
I didn't get to it. So July 4th, projection screen, Whitey's house. I'm
Do that.
making popcorn. Bring some candy you like. We could do s'mores if you want.
We'll have a good s'more.
Like my mom might come over. It's like an event, you know what
Yeah, I
I'm
know. A little
saying? Can't believe
Johansson
you
family
never
event.
saw.
Yeah, that's
Georgia,
wild.
bro.
Definitely not start to finish. No chance.
Well, if I do it, if the weather's good and I decide to pull out the projection screen and blow it up, you are invited.
I think we were supposed to get good weather, just hot.
I mean, it's July 4th, so I mean not July 4th. We're doing it probably Sunday, the 3rd.
Okay.
Either way, I think it's still supposed to be nice out.
Yeah.
I think Saturday might rain.
I'm mowing the lawn
Hopefully not
tomorrow.
too bad.
I'm getting ready for it. You know what I mean? It's joy. Like here's
It's
the thing.
America's birthday, dude. It's
Yeah.
I bought a projection screen for my wedding, and then was like, now this is my excuse to watch Jaws on the projection screen.
Right.
Yeah, why
every
not?
summer.
for sure.
This year Halloween we might do ET.
It's not a bad one.
Well, I gotta let Fiona in on one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's one of her favorites.
It's one of my favorites.
The
Uncle
kid-
Whitebread loves it.
The kid, since she's like 2, loves that movie.
It's great.
Not scared.
Why not?
She's begging me
It's
to
not
watch.
a movie to be afraid of.
I said so. She's turning 5 this year. She's been begging me for 3 years to watch Beetlejuice, and I think it's like a little too.
It's still too early. For
It's like a
Beetlejuice,
little too
okay.
much. I said when you turn 5, or the Halloween before you turn 5, you know your brother will be here now. You can watch it.
She's
So,
pumped.
Put little baby boy Johanson in the arm. Fiona, sit down, watch a little Beetlejuice.
I just watched Beetlejuice like last week.
Fucking
classic.
best,
Yeah,
bro.
it's a great movie.
Fucking best. Nice fucking model, Bop.
That's all we got, right? That's the show. As always, we're brought to you by House of Havoc Podcasting, Tiger Pack Productions, Sachi Di Dinero, and Stay Thirsty Company. Peace out.
Thanks for having me, White Bread.
Thanks for coming.